Okay, everybody, just a couple of things about differentiation in the classroom. Looked at a couple articles, Differentiating Instruction by Jennifer Willoughby, and What is Differentiated Instruction by Kathy Wesselby. And also included in my references is a clip to actually Sesame Street, because I just introduced an autistic character, and I thought the way that they handled explaining to one of the other characters some of the differences and challenges for someone on the spectrum was really, really well done. So if you haven't seen it, it'll be in the references. Anyway, a couple of examples that really kind of have stuck out to me in my observation, and then also I contacted a friend who's a high school biology teacher for an example as well, because I didn't just kind of wanted to broaden my scope into other ways that folks deal with this. Her example was a writing assignment where she took it and broke it down into more manageable steps for a student whose specific needs were attention oriented, and so that goes along with what Willoughby's talking about in her article in meeting students where they are, basically not changing the outcomes of the lesson, but instead making sure that the steps to get to the outcomes meet that student's needs. And then in my own observations with Mr. Kovac, I had to look at when he introduces vocabulary for a new lesson. He does it in a couple of ways that I think go along with what Kathy Wesselby was talking about in differentiated instruction, specifically with content. She talks about matching vocabulary words to definitions, and he has the kids do a word search first so that they actually familiarize themselves with the words themselves, and then has them next match them to the definitions. And then also Mr. Kovac taught in New Mexico for a while with ESL students, and he mentioned that doing vocabulary there, he would have a picture and then have the actual word of the vocabulary, and then the definition itself written next to it. And he and I talked about if you even needed to go a further step, you could have a small clip, video clip that explained that exact thing. And then one other instant that I've definitely noticed with Kovac is there's a student in his honors environmental science class who honestly exhibits some symptoms that would be some characteristics that would be associated with Asperger's syndrome. A lot of no eye contact when talking to another person, a lot of fidgeting, and just some other like motion characteristics that you would associate with Asperger's. And I've noticed that Kovac tries to make sure that he allows folks to work in small groups, but also especially the student to work by himself. And that goes along with some of the things that Wesselby talked about as far as the learning environment, making sure that the learning environment is conducive to the student themselves. Thanks. Hope that was good.